So I'm an English language assistant in French primary schools.
So what do you like about your work?
So I really like teaching something that I am fluent in. It makes me feel very clever. But no, also I really like I like working with children. They're really fun and funny to be around, and teaching English to French children is really interesting. And I really like the French language and kind of compare to how I was taught my language and other languages in my school. So it is really interesting to see how French kids are taught. Yeah.
Compared to us guys.
Yeah.
Compared. And how did you start out?
So actually in school I wasn't really interested in languages at all. I did a bit of French and a bit of Latin for some reason. Yeah. Don't remember any of it. But I wasn't really interested in languages then. I was really into film and kind of like creative things. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do at the end of school actually. So I took a couple of gap years and did some work in bars and stuff, and also traveled a fair amount in Canada and also in Europe. And that's when I realized that I really wanted to study film or be involved in the film industry. So I went to university to study film, which I loved. Met some really great people, and and also I really enjoyed it all 3 years. I learned a lot, and then afterwards I went and lived and worked in London in the industry in a camera rental company. And then from that I worked there for about a year, and then I worked freelance in the television industry for about another year. And during that time, I think I just wanted like a hobby, so I downloaded Duolingo or something like that, and started learning French on Duolingo. And I really enjoyed learning languages, and I started watching lots of language YouTubers on YouTube. Yeah, and then and I found that really, really interesting. And during my gap year, I realized that I liked traveling and I liked being abroad. So I decided that I wanted to live in a different country. So I packed up my tiny little room in London and applied to become an English language assistant in France through the British Council.
Okay.
And technically, I needed actually to be significantly better at French than I was. But I thought I'd apply anyway and hope for the best. Yeah, exactly. So I applied and was put on a waiting list, and then eventually I got it, and I moved to the south of France and started basically I assist French teachers, French primary school teachers in teaching their children English, but often I'll be the one just teaching.
Really?
Yeah, but it's fun. I really enjoy it, and it just involves a lot of lesson planning, but it's kind of fun to go through all of that, and I kind of learn a lot of French vocabulary through teaching the words in English. So it feels silly when I'm like Christmas tree. Oh, actually, I don't know how to say that in French, but now I know. I love languages, and I want to learn so many more now. I just feel like it's like a superpower to like be able to go to a country and understand what people are saying.
Oh, it is that.
So
I'm always envious of people like that. Do you have aspirations to go to other countries and do similar things?
I actually, having done this, I think I've decided that I'd quite like to be a teacher in the UK for a bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
lovely.
It would be nice to like fully understand what the kids are saying. So
Yeah, yeah,
why
yeah.
not do it in my own country?
And not question yourself all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, are they, is that, are
Am
they
I right?
swearing at me?
Am I right? Okay, and so what would you say to anybody else who is starting out today?
Um, so I would say, I mean, if you're interested in languages, pursue that a bit at school and then maybe do a degree in languages, or even just learn how I did on Duolingo and apps and things like that. Look at lots of YouTubers. And I actually applied through the British Council, so there's a lot of resources on the British Council website. You can also, if you want to teach English as a foreign language, there are lots of TEFL courses, TEFL courses, that you can look up and study, and you can like officially teach English as a foreign language, even in England, or travel all around the world teaching English. And like it's something that we all know
Yeah.
here in England. Well, they're in England.
Yeah.
um, and it's just like, yeah, hello.
Hello.
And it's just, yeah, it's just like a nice way to use something that you know. And also, it allowed me to kind of learn more about my own language.
Mhm.
I've been talking to people about how I didn't really know what like verbs and adjectives, I didn't truly know what verbs and adjectives and like subjects and objects and stuff like that were before I started learning another language. So I appreciate other languages for teaching me my own
Your own
language.
language.
um,
Obviously, you decided you took some time as an au pair, didn't you? And
Au pair, yeah,
au pair, sorry, au
yeah.
pair. I know obviously that was kind of COVID related, but do you feel like would help anyone maybe beforehand, or it helped you in the meantime, kind of thing?
Yeah, so I think being an au pair is a really good opportunity to like live and explore another country. So especially if you like kids, I think that yeah, being an au pair is a really good option. There's a website called Au Pair World that you can sign up to, and they're often looking for young people to, um, uh, well, adults.
Yeah.
Sorry, parents. Parents are looking for people that will come and speak English to their children, so their children pick up English better. Even in the UK, actually, I think like people will
Really?
have au pairs that have, yeah, have the same language as them. Um, but I mean, I was an au pair for a family that wanted me to speak only in English to their children, and it was definitely a good experience. And it allowed me, like, they gave me their car, and I was able to explore the region, um, and yeah, and the kids were kind of fine too. I'm joking.
It helped.
No, it was great. Like, I would really recommend being an au pair, and also like it's not only women, like it's majoritively women who become, or girls who become
Yeah.
au pairs, but I know some guys that have done it too. The guy that I know, like I have a friend that does it, and he has like tattoos all up and down his arms and a big nose ring like me, and like big gauges, and he's like looking after two kids in Toulouse and like having a great time.
I might
And
need
like
to.
if
I
you
might
find
need to interview him.
yeah, yeah, exactly. He's the one that Nadi got the job from.
Oh right. Okay. Brilliant. Cool.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, so yeah, au pairing is a really, really cool thing, especially if you're like interested in just like being abroad for a little while, but don't necessarily want to like study abroad, or like have a job, like have a like a real job abroad. You don't need to have like any language proficiency to do that. You just
Oh right.
need to be a decent person and like like kids a decent amount.
Yeah.
Wouldn't recommend 3 kids. That's what I had. And yeah, I'm not going to be having children for a while after that experience. So.
It's taught you one thing, it's children.
Yeah, exactly. Terrifying, lots of responsibility. But no, it is nice to no, there are amazing moments, there are difficult moments, as with anything, but
That's very true.
yeah.